You idiot! You forgot the most important part. Me!
I got confirmation. Starco was completely platonic.
Starco?
Ooh, Ascended Fandom at play. Hi, I'm Kitty Monk, and we're here to talk to you about Starverses, or more specifically, shipping. One of the main issues with not just the 4th season, but the series as a whole. After the results of my Moon Butterfly video, I decided I needed to make more Starverses videos ASAP. Don't worry, I'm still going to discuss the Owl House, but you're likely going to get more Starverses videos in the mix, along with other fandom-driven shows. I do have other topics, including a figure video or two, but the Owl House is still on hiatus. For the past week, I couldn't decide on which topic to discuss next. The first question I wanted to ask was, is the Magical High Commission justified in what they were doing? But I don't think I had the experience on YouTube to make such a video at the moment. In a perfect world, could Mina have worked as the villain? Or would have the writers found better ways to use Ludo? However, one of my most requested topics was to discuss the shipping problem the show is known for. Many people have claimed that the show prioritized shipping and the will they won't they subplot over the main story. Say what you want about Amity becoming nothing more than Luce's girlfriend. At least the writers admitted they tried to weave it into the narrative. And both girls grew exponentially as characters, so a relationship between them, while a bit rushed, did feel earned. Recently, I tried to make a video on shipping in cartoons, and how fandoms tend to overreact and obsess over them, like the whole fiasco with Lapidot, or the mess with Solus and Octavia. I still plan on making a video on that one day, but like with my Amity video, the love triangle in Star just had too much substance that I felt I couldn't make just one video. At least for now, we're discussing Starverses. When you watch something, especially if you're part of a fandom, I'm sure you have your preferred characters, and I'm sure you might notice certain characters have more on-screen chemistry than others, even if the writers didn't plan for this. Maybe you like it so much you want these characters to get together. This is a behavior we call shipping. It's present in most fandoms. Many ships have special names. For Adventure Time, we had Bubbline. For Marceline and Princess Bubblegum. And for Gravity Falls, we had Dipifica, one of those, for Dipper and Pacifica. Oftentimes, these ships come from character interactions. When such moments occur, we call them ship teas.
Starco, if you want to give me a back rub, just ask.
I think there's nothing wrong with shipping, unless it's between family members or a child and an adult. To the latter, I don't care what you say. It's basically on the level of grooming. Hey, if it's wrong for Bella Swan to date a 100-year-old vampire, it should be wrong for Lydia Dietz to date a guy old enough to be her ancestor, dozens of times removed. Though, let's be honest, everybody does it to some extent. I typically don't, unless I think the show is built on relationships, or if I think a particular ship would improve the story. For starters, I prefer Aaron and Historia over Aaron and Mikasa, but hey, that's just me. And coming from a manga reader, get ready for next year. A reason I never do it is I tend to view shipping much like a horror movie. It might be scary and cool to watch Mike Myers chase a random girl with a knife, but that doesn't mean you'd want to get chased in real life. I like to watch the MCU, and I would want somebody like Hawkeye and Black Widow to get together, but I wouldn't want that to actually happen. Don't you realize how out of character that would be, and how unfair it'd be to Clint's family? Shipping is one of the biggest cornerstones of a fandom, and a problem, at least to me, is when the writers try to inject it into a show, when that isn't the point. Sure, Starverses is a show all about teenagers, and teenagers tend to date a lot of people, but the show isn't about dating. This is what you expect from Vampire Diaries or Riverdale. After season 2, the show began to hit Cerebus syndrome, but they would still hold on to these shipping subplots. I'd rather watch Star try and salvage human-monster relations, not to watch her agonize over who to invite to watch the new Spider-Man movie. An issue many take with the 4th season is they tended to prioritize relationship drama over story, especially when Star and Marco got together. I'm sure you want to know what spurned Moon into betraying her daughter. Sorry, Marco suddenly has feelings for Star. Want more moments with Ludo? Looks like Tom and Star are fighting. You thought Lumini was overshadowing? Well, you've never seen Starco. We all knew watching the show what their endgame was, but the road to Starco was messy, complicated, and overall, a bumpy monstrosity that could have gone a lot better. I went into season 4 thinking they suffered a similar fate to BoJack Horseman. The crew were writing with the intention of additional seasons, but Disney cut them off way too early. It would explain the filler. Unlike SU, most of it meant nothing in hindsight. I thought Mina was supposed to be like Meteora. She's the main villain, but that's about it. Because the show was supposed to end with Star destroying magic, they tried to give her the Thanos treatment. I didn't know until my recent video that wasn't the case. Watching the show, So, I want to look back and see the problem with Starco, and if it could have been saved. In a perfect world, would Starco actually be achievable? Well, let's take a look. At the beginning of the show, Star rooms with Marco Diaz, the so-called safe kid.
It must be feeling pretty embarrassed right about now. Do I need a hall pass?
Over time, Star develops a crush on him, which she tries to hide to the best of her ability, even if I'm fairly certain that blind people can see the attraction. In Star Crush, Moon forces her to return to Muni.
Toffee has returned. No. I'm sorry, Star, but you need to leave.
Knowing there's a chance she'll never see him again, Star finally confesses how she feels.
I do have a crush on you. I have to leave Earth, probably forever, and I couldn't go without telling you the truth. Goodbye!
Now you likely wonder if I rooted for Starco. Well, I did, at one point. I think if Star and Marco got together in Season 1, or even in Season 2, I'd be fine with it, since they got along great. The relationship was healthy, and most importantly, they improved each other. Marco teaches Star not to go on her first instinct, and Star teaches Marco how to get out of his comfort zone.
Are there gonna be monsters attacking us all the time?
Yeah, probably.
All right! Sounds so dangerous!
I think if you're going to date somebody, it's great to compliment each other, or start off as friends and see where things go. However, Season 3 did something dangerous. After Toffee gets defeated, there's no longer a reason for Star to stay with Marco. She got her wand back, and Glossaryx may be dead, so Marco ends up going home. They have a tearful goodbye, but as Diane puts it, Star learns she can survive being alone.
I need a longer goodbye than that.
Me too.
I mean, come on. Marco has dimensional scissors, and I think both have cell phones. It's gonna be a bit of an adjustment, but I'm sure he and Star could manage. However, their magical adventures have caused Marco to become so desensitized, he realizes he can't readjust to living on Earth, and decides to return to Star. Only there's one complication.
Burrito, I'll never let Tom? Marco!
Let's back up a bit, all the way back to Season 1.
Hey, Star. I'm here to take you to the Blood Moon Ball.
For a time, I thought Star should have ended up with Tom. Yep, I said it. I don't care if Marco is her best friend. I think her and Tom made a much better, interesting couple. At first, at least. Not so much at the end. I know maybe it gives off the wrong implication, since it's all but said Tom was abusive, but their reasons for getting together made sense. Not to mention, Tom's a minor. He's still young. And improvement isn't a foreign concept. In the Blood Moon Ball, we're properly introduced to him. He's the prince of the underworld, and he has a lot of anger problems, which caused Star to reject him.
I'm a changed man, okay? I've got a life coach, Brian.
Hey.
He's awesome. A happy bunny. And I have been anger-free for 53 days.
Also, if the spell book is anything to go off of, he and Star might be, like, super distant cousins. Like, Star's great-great-grandma's mother apparently married a Lucitor cousin. He invites Star to the Blood Moon Ball, and she reluctantly agrees to be his date, only for Marco to realize Tom might be planning something dire. And the ghost of Eclipse's dad helps him come to that conclusion.
Blood moon tonight.
Tom wanted Star to dance with him underneath the light of the blood moon, because then their souls would be forever bonded.
That dance was meant for me!
What if that failed? Was he going to put something in her drink next? Marco comes to the rescue, albeit their souls get melded, and yes, this will be important, and Star finally sees Tom for the freakazoid he is. In the aftermath, Tom fails to grasp the error of his actions and tries various schemes to get Star to be his girlfriend. Marco, albeit reluctantly at first, befriends him and helps Tom get better, at one point giving him an important lesson about consent.
It doesn't matter if you beat me at ping pong or pull out all my organs. You can't make Star be your girlfriend unless she wants to.
When Star meets him again in Season 3, the two begin to develop a gracious rapport. After this happens.
You're being really dramatic!
Whatever, Star! I was just trying to give you what you want.
This isn't what I want!
Their budding relationship leaves Tom to realize he needs to change, and not just say he's going to. To this end, he decides to complete a super risky ritual called a demoncism to cure himself of his literal inner demons. Unfortunately, it's much like a fancy lobotomy.
Oh, yeah! You're all trash!
You can go anywhere with Reflecticore mobile technology.
I'd like to point out some people think Tom was using the demontism as a way to get to Star, but I don't think that was his intention. This was after he realized Star wanted space, and the worst thing he did was tell Ponyhead. In addition, he seemed surprised when Star showed up, even saying this.
What are you doing here?
If this is just
just another ploy to get my attention? You have...
Whoa, wait. I don't know what Pony told you, but it's not what you think. I genuinely want this.
If he wanted to do it to get Star's attention, wouldn't he have gone off with her when she showed up? Tom thinks the demon system will be no big deal. And for Tom, a literal demon, you might be the prince of the underworld, but you don't get the luxury of anesthesia.
Seems kinda flim-flam to me.
I do want to point out how nonchalant Tom is before he gets to the painful part.
Wow, magic manacles. Magicals.
Thankfully, Star is there to comfort him.
Tom, it's okay. I'm here. I'm right here.
Tom wakes up the next morning.
I'm in tremendous pain.
At least he's doing fine. Sadly, he gets a harsh reality check.
Hard to believe that one little demon was the source of so much rage.
You've still got thousands of these little guys inside. We're gonna have to start you on a 13-year plan.
Yes, he has a problem he needs to fix, but it's not as simple as he thinks.
But you were such a good boy today. You can help yourself to just one toy from the toy chest.
At least he gets that, but come on. He went for the most physically painful night of his life, and all he gets is one freaking toy. However, this moment bonds the two, and Tom decides to actually do the hard work. On a more important note, they decide to restart the relationship.
You two have got to be kidding me.
They do have issues, like all couples, but they have sweet moments interspaced. A moment I enjoyed in particular was when we find out the true definition of a monster. A poor creature who isn't allied with Muni, but lives on their land.
And he's a pigeon! With legs, mother! How is he not a monster?
Well, dear, he's rich.
Tom's family might not be considered monsters, but they still look like them.
Well, technically half monster. I got these eyes, horns, tail.
Okay, that's new.
There's one scene in particular where he and Star are browsing around a shop, and the shopkeeper tries to throw Tom out, at least until he realizes who he is.
Hey, over there! That goes for you too! Monster! Oh, Prince Lucidor, sorry, sir. Please don't incinerate my shop.
Why does this give me Falcon and the Winter Soldier flashbacks? Tom tries to connect with the monsters by pointing out he has to hide unattractive features about himself just to avoid dirty looks.
I am very rich, but when I get on an elevator with a stranger, I'm a monster, just like all of you.
It felt, for lack of a better word, real. Especially considering what Meteora had to go through. It doesn't stop Buffrog and the monsters from leaving, but you gotta give him credit. Anyway, let's get back to Starco. So Marco comes to Star's doorstep, and instead of feeling a little sad she uprooted Marco's entire life, Star becomes annoyed and tries to shove him to the wayside like a Kmart catalog.
Yeah, but if I'm all the way down here, we're never even gonna see each other.
You don't appreciate anything I do!
The reason I don't tend to ship is I like to ask, why do these people deserve to be with one another? For many people, they might say love.
I want you to love me because I love you.
And to that I respond that love isn't always a valid reason. Sure, I think a relationship at minimum requires at least two people to be in love, but that doesn't always mean the relationship is healthy or sustainable. Chucky and Tiffany love each other. Do they deserve to be together? Wait, Chucky killed Tiffany again. It's just a lover's quarrel, I suppose. The Joker loves Harley. Loves her so much he isolated her from her friends and family, tossed her around like a ragdoll, brainwashed her, and threw her into a vat of acid. What a romantic man. Just because Star and Marco love each other doesn't mean it warrants them getting a relationship. Granted, Star never told him to drop out of school or do any of this crazy stuff, but she can't be so callous like that. Star, this dude was your best friend, and you're gonna act like he's in the wrong? Oh my gosh, I hated Star when she became such a hypocrite. However, the fandom and the crew didn't see it that way, so we get the kiss seen around the world. Without context, this scene might be worrisome, but let's truly dissect it. In Booth Buddies, Star and Marco attend a wedding, and the couple have set up a photo booth for the guests. Unfortunately, the two get trapped inside. Thinking the only way out is through smooching, they do the deed. Then we get the harsh reveal.
Did you trap us in there?
Look, I seen a lot of pictures in my day, and your photo showed two youngins who needed a smooch.
I don't think I ever hated a character Alex Hirsch voiced until this piece of trash came waddling along.
We kissed.
I thought the booth was magic,
You're my squire.
which is a job I take very seriously.
I have a boyfriend. His name is Tom.
While this episode treats it like cheating, I don't see it that way. I think in order to cheat, intent has to play a role. If you're in a relationship with somebody and you kiss another person who isn't your SO, you're cheating, plain and simple. But if you're in a happy, committed relationship and another person makes the first move, it's their fault. It's clear to me that the kiss was made under duress. Regardless of whatever feelings the two had at the moment, it doesn't truly count as cheating, at least to me. Second, Marco was the one who kissed Star. What did I just say about intent? Well, I'm sure he still felt something. He didn't do it because he was jealous. He thought it was either that or they're never getting out. What makes me mad about the situation isn't the kiss itself, but the aftermath. Regardless of the reason for it, something went down, and Star is dating somebody who'd likely want to know where her lips have been. Besides, not only is Star Tom's girlfriend, but Marco is Tom's best friend. Tom had a right to know what his friends were doing when he wasn't around. But like always, Star just wants to shove it under the rug and forget it ever happened. And who tells the truth? Not Star, because that would imply character development.
I kissed Star.
What?
Yeah, so you don't owe me anything.
And Tom takes it surprisingly well.
Calling your bluff!
No, I really did kiss Star.
Oh, well, it's too late now.
While I admire his restraint, I can't say the same about Star.
It might be because you kissed Marco.
You knew about that? And you didn't say anything?
Okay, the jig is up. I really don't think Star deserved to be with anybody. Because it felt like the longer the show went on, the less it proved to me Star would be the ideal girlfriend. She might mature in certain aspects, but not when it comes to dating. Star lied to him.
Technically, it was a lie by omission.
Omitters!
And she's mad that he kept a secret from her.
Oh no, I know it wasn't on purpose. It was an unusual situation.
You told your mom, and you didn't tell me?
You're not supposed to be angry. I am.
I know two wrongs don't make a right, but shame on you.
If I had kissed Marco, wouldn't you want me to tell you?
Whoa, dude. Is it bad that at one point I did ship these two? One of the most dirty things writers tend to do when they want to push a relationship is change up the characters. Oftentimes, they'll tend to show the new potential SO in a positive light, usually ignoring or downplaying their flaws, and they'll give the current love interest a total 360. This is not how you do a love triangle, and I hate just how many shows are prone to doing this. And this didn't start in season 4, when the idea of Starco became clear. It started all the way back in Stump Day, which was supposed to be their Christmas special. Even if you don't watch a show full time, I'm sure you're okay with checking out their Christmas specials. It seems like shipping was so important to the crew, they made it the highlight of their holiday special. Something they know that people who aren't fans of the show are more likely to check out. Turns out Star was born on the titular holiday, but isn't celebrated on the day of, since she's worried about what might happen, and for good reason. Wait, so the stump is real, and it gets angry when people aren't celebrating it. When the birth of the queen's daughter incited its wrath, because the people of Muni would be paying more attention to a baby than to it, this would be the perfect reason for Star to be so overzealous. Marco, trying to be a good friend, sets up a surprise party, something Star doesn't want, and then he says this to Tom.
Well, at least I wanted to throw Star a party. You didn't plan anything, and you're supposed to be her boyfriend.
Maybe it's because I'm one of those people who hates my birthday, but I sided with Tom in this episode. A birthday is about the person, first and foremost. Star outright says she doesn't want anything on Stump Day. I saw nothing telling me that Tom forgot. Since he knew Star prior to the events of the show, I'm sure he knew this.
I didn't plan anything because, unlike you, I actually thought about what Star would want.
The way Marco did it, it felt less like he was supporting his friend, and more like he was just trying to get Tom riled up, because that's what the writers wanted.
Because this morning, it kinda seemed like you forgot.
I think the special would have been much better if they left that shipping element out, because all the episode needed was doubt in the stump. What if Star starts to believe that the stump isn't real, and lets go just a little and celebrates her birthday, and then boom, or the group is trapped inside, and cabin fever gets to them, and then boom, stump. This brings us to the curse of the blood moon. Throughout the show, Marco and Star have tried to date other people besides each other. Marco especially. Marco had a whole thing with Jackie Lynn, and he should have ended up with Kelly. Every which way, it always went going back to Star. Remember how I said Tom tried to bind his soul to Star's? Yes, I was not proud of him for that. Even the way they presented the other characters aren't happy.
Instead of very awkward, which it was, for like a year, I felt so much guilt every single day.
Tom, you should have.
But Tom tries to redeem himself by going to his grandfather and asking about undoing it. Even if Star is still in a relationship with Tom, they semi-ignore this.
So, what'd you bring me?
Well, why don't we just take a little peek?
Bam!
If this was the intention of the writers to imply Tom Star wasn't going to last, the breakup should have happened here. That way, they still had plenty of time to work on Starco. Maybe Star can't process what Tom did, and that's the straw that breaks the camel's back. Or Tom realizes what he did was wrong, and he breaks up with Star out of guilt. Star and Marco wanted to like each other for reasons that went beyond a blood moon, and it felt like they never really pursued that. After this point, Tom went from a pretty relevant member of Star's little friend group to an object. Like he had a point to be there, but Star didn't really seem to want his presence. Still, the two stay together, and after Eclipsa gets crowned queen, Star decides to travel the multiverse with Tom, but is uncomfortable doing so because...
I don't know where to go! No, I really don't know where to go or what to do.
Okay, this speech did sort of resonate with me because of personal reasons, but I'm not like Star. Star has dimensional scissors and a form at her disposal. If you miss your family and friends so much, you could just go say hello whenever you want. Tom, kind of annoyed with Star, tells her he'll give her space to decide and goes off to parts unknown, while Star returns to the Diaz residence. Then we get Sad Teen Hotline, where Tom is fed up with Star and breaks up with her.
Star, I think we should break up.
Wait. Why?
This didn't seem fulfilling. I mean, come on, get Tom this. I mean, as he said, it was the most difficult thing he ever had to do, but something about it just didn't feel right. What I love about Star Versus is how they have episodes where the main characters don't appear. I love SU, but I hated how everything had to be from Steven's perspective, even if it meant pigeonholing the narrative. Not to mention when they try to do flashback episodes, they had to spend all of Act 1 on an 11-minute episode setting it up. Amphibia does occasionally try this, but we only have a handful so far. When Star Versus did this, it helped to flesh out the world, and for things to be a little more mature. I thought Tom would get his own episode. Maybe he wanders the multiverse and realize he might like Star as a friend, but they just don't work together as boyfriend and girlfriend. That never happens. The way it seemed, the breakup, once again, felt like it happened just because the writers wanted it to happen. I'd rather we see things from Tom's perspective, instead of getting an episode like Britta's Tacos. This was perhaps the most pivotal moment of his character journey, and we never get to see it. Anyway, now that Star is free from the millstone around her neck that is Tom Lucidor, she realizes she can go for the boy she strung around for 4 seasons. So as their friends might be getting massacred around them, Star takes Marco somewhere secluded to do something G-rated. It's still Disney Channel.
I know. I'm bad. I'm a bad person, right?
Yes, you are.
Can we kiss?
Please.
This was not earned. This scene was 4 seasons in the making, and it was so anticlimactic. When I saw this, I was not at all excited for this the same way I was with Elena. Let me start off with the obvious fact that Star got dumped less than a day ago. Maybe it was like 10-ish episodes ago in production order, but story-wise, at most a day or 2 passed. See Star's so sad she cries uncontrollably?
Well, at least we'll always be friends, right?
No, I can't do that.
Now watch this scene.
Marco, I want you to love me because I love you.
It makes it seem like she doesn't give a flying fig about any of this. I personally don't think after all these two have gone through, how terribly Star treated Marco, that they deserve to be together at this point. This is all on top of the fact this is the worst possible time they could have done such a thing. The Solarian warriors are attacking them. They need to evacuate. Nah, we're gonna hang back for a few minutes. Star's friends got wounded. They might die any minute. They need to get taken to the magic sanctuary. Time is of the essence or they'll explode into sparkle dust. It just seems so needlessly selfish. Especially since earlier in the season, Moon said,
You've grown up so much.
Oh, were you lying about that too? The only possible way this would work would be if they were in a life-threatening situation. Like the risk of them dying was so exponential that Star had to admit her feelings before it was too late. That way, it wouldn't turn out so shoehorned like it does here. The only noteworthy thing to come out of Starco is Marco acts as that teeny tiny obstacle for Star when she realizes her fate is to destroy magic. And by teeny tiny obstacle, I mean she agonizes over this for all of 5 seconds.
He belongs with me!
Ah!
What?
I think the tapestry is done.
So I have to destroy the magic.
Don't worry. It apparently all works out in the end. Destroying magic made Uni and Earth one dimension. But we're going to ignore any and all negative consequences because Star and Marco get to be a couple.
Hey.
Hi.
So, that was Starco. I forgot just how painful that was. It took over the show. It was all over the place. And it ultimately became a dumpster fire. Maybe I'm a bit biased, because Tom was one of my favorite characters. But am I wrong? You know who Marco should have ended up with? Kelly. She treated him with actual respect and courtesy. They had chemistry, and she was a human, not a human. She was like Star, but better. All in all, Starco is a major lesson in how not to do shipping, and how negatively it can affect a show. Molly McGee fans, please take notes.